Fancy seeing you here.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is DIY Detail. Today, we're gonna be polishing this Jeep. Now, you may remember it, it's part of a series of videos where we've done a deep dive decontamination wash. We've already done the engine bay cleaning. Today, we're gonna be doing our one-step or all-in-one polish. And we still have the interior and trim restoration to do. But today, the polishing.
You may be wondering about these carts. We will tell you how to build these in a different video. It's in the description below, but watch this one first. You can learn how to build these later.
Yeah.
This is all about efficiency. You don't need any of this stuff. A pad washer is nice, Ivan. You're famous for teaching a very simple polishing system. If you want to, build something brilliantly like this for efficiency, but it's not necessary for the person at home.
No, you don't need this. Just makes life a little easier. Now, we mentioned our all-in-one polish, and those of you are going, wait a minute, I've looked at their website. I've looked at all the YouTube videos. I've never seen an all-in-one polish. Well, our all-in-one polish consists of our good friend, the Gold Standard Polish, and ceramic gloss. Combine the two together, and you have a great all-in-one polish. Now, we're not gonna be putting them on the surface at once, but follow along. You'll see just how we make an all-in-one polish from the Gold Standard.
Ivan, this is a pre-sale detail series.
Right.
The Jeep paint was trashed, and I think it's really important to talk about why are we polishing, what's the goal, and what's our approach?
So the goal is to clean up the paint just a little bit more. If you look at the beginning, and we'll insert a photo here, it needed help. We've helped it a lot, but this little quick polishing step is gonna make it even brighter, it's gonna make it cleaner, and there's a lot of staining from bird droppings that have sat there for a long time. The front grille looks like it still has bugs on it. It doesn't have them anymore. We're gonna polish that. And there's some water spot etching. Now, we've got rid of the water spots, we use water spot remover, but the etching that those minerals caused is there. We'll be removing as much of that etching as we can, but again, it's a pre-sale detail. People, when they're shopping for a car, they're all about the shine. They're not going at it with an inspection light looking for little defects. So we're gonna do a good job, but we're not gonna go overboard either.
If you're wondering why we aren't polishing and we're talking, it's just important to give a little context here. It's like, we're just here to make the paint look better.
Right.
So this is the long and short of it of why this is the method we chose. We want wool on our dual action machine, and the reason we can get away with that on our long stroke polisher, which is very aggressive, 25 millimeters, is because white paint is very forgiving.
Yeah.
So you can really sometimes you might want to finish polish after using wool, right? You want a two-step after wool, because wool creates its own aggressive scratch pattern. On white, it's not going to be very visible. On black, It might be a little hazy, some microfiber haze or dual action haze. You're just not gonna see that on white paint. So lighter colored paints are more forgiving for a one step with an aggressive pad in our polish. Is that a good way of describing it?
Exactly. So let's get to polishing.
All right, let's do it.
Now, we each have a slightly different technique here. I do a panel and I wipe it off and I keep going. And I'm done with that panel. Nick tends to polish the whole side, then go back and wipe off. Either way works. There's actually not that big of a difference. It's just what your preference is. Again, detailing, there's no absolutely, this is the only way to detail. There's a lot of interpretation, there's a lot of fun happening, and your personal methods are part of it.
What I happen to love about our Gold Standard polish is you can polish a panel and leave it there, and then go to the next panel, and it's not a big deal. You just wipe it up later. Because we can do that, I enjoy doing it, Ivan. So because I can, I sometimes do.
Yeah. Now, the Jeep may look small. The Jeep may look flat. It's far from it. There's a lot of angles. There's a lot of twisting gonna be happening with our hands and the polishers. Just follow along. You'll see it's not that difficult. I like to use a rinseless dampened towel to break down the polishing residue, and then I'll go to a high nap towel to do the rest. I've got a Pro Weave here, and I use the rinseless that's in my pad washer to get the job done. So I don't have to go back to a bucket. I just happen to have one with me at all times. Once I've used the rinseless dampened towel, 2 little sprays of ceramic gloss, we take our towel, we work in the ceramic gloss, and we have a nicely finished panel ready to move on to the next one.
Ivan,
Yep.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
The king of minimalism who never uses a 3-inch polisher. I'm trying to live by your ways, but I'm stuck down here, man. I can't be vibrating all over the place, and I'm curious, that's freshly cleaned and there's fresh rinseless and polish on there.
Okay.
How do you get in there with our dual action polish?
The power of angles.
It sure is nice that we have a polish that doesn't stain trim, isn't it?
No, exactly. And, you know, this is actually a job better done with the rotary, but we're going with the DA this time.
Oh, that, because I would feel more comfortable with a rotary and that smooth motion and kind of working the angles.
Right.
Because with the vibration of the dual action plate, it does work in ways that feel a little bit harder to control in tight areas.
Well, you have to look at it when it's rotating, okay? When we're doing this, you look at the outside edge of this and not the inner edge. So you treat this, the outside edge, as a rotary. So by now, this is a 6-inch pad. With a 25 millimeter stroke, we're actually getting a 7-inch coverage. And with that 7-inch coverage, you just look at that outside of the stroke. So when you're looking through the machine, we're working here and not down here.
That makes sense. Another thing I'm noticing with the wool pad, and I think folks at home will as well, it will dry up on you faster than our gold standard yellow waffle pad. That yellow waffle pad you could run for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
With no pressure as we teach on the machine, obviously speed 3.
Yeah.
Right? That pad with the gold standard polish, when we clean it, you know, and pad washer, so it's like damp,
yeah,
you can run it forever. This will mat up on you much faster because of its aggressive.
Well, there's a couple reasons for that.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't have as much moisture in the pad like we do with the foam pad.
So the foam soaks it up more. We just have this little wool to work with.
Next, we're actually cutting product off the surface. By cutting clear coat off the surface, it's loading up the pad faster.
It's more aggressive,
because
right?
of the aggressive cut, we're getting more clear coat on here. That's what's matting down the surface and drying it out. So when we do eventually see dusting, because this is the one pad that you'll get dusting, the dusting actually isn't from the gold standard, it's from the clear coat we removed from the paint.
So the lesson here is just clean your pad more often than you're used to if you've just been rocking the foam pad for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Now, in this case, around here, we can just put a little bit of gold standard on microfiber towel and just quickly go in there.
Okay.
Because even a 1-inch polisher won't fit in here.
I've seen the polishers with the cone on the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ways to do this. This is why we hate Jeeps, okay?
Yeah.
Remember that thing we said in the couple videos ago? They look easy, but they're not?
Yeah.
That's Jeeps for
This is actually one of the most challenging vehicles to polish. We've polished C8 Corvettes that are full of curves with a 6-inch pad and a rotary and got in absolutely everywhere, not even thinking about a small polisher.
It was a joy to do that job.
Yeah, this is flat. No, don't let it fool you. When you're polishing, stay away from the bolts.
These black ones, yeah?
They'll become silver in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
taken the antenna off for a reason. Getting behind it here is very difficult, and it's easy to remove. So a few seconds with a wrench gives me a lot of extra security.
Ivan, I did polish the side mirror here, and it came up kind of black.
Yeah.
You do not want to go aggressive with the wool pad. Usually we polish trim with the waffle, the yellow waffle.
Yeah.
But it can be done. It was very non-aggressive. It did bring some black up. So just to be safe, I'm actually going to spray a little bit of all clean on my pad.
Yeah.
Work it in, and then use the pad washer.
Exactly.
And you can be the judge and see if it works.
Nick, if you look around these hinges, they're very encrusted with dirt. And we've done a lot of work around these hinges to try to get them clean. But in there, we can get the polisher in there. So we see that dark line across there.
Yeah.
But the problem is, we're spraying polish on our polisher, right? We're getting it on most of the pad. But now we're working the edge of the pad, and there's not a lot of polish there. So we're gonna do something a little different. I'm actually gonna put a little line of polish where I want it, then start the polisher up. One thing we could have done is, oh, you want polish on the edge of the pad, why not put it right on the edge of the pad? Not a good thing. If you do that, you're gonna have polish flying everywhere.
Right.
By putting it where we want it, and then getting it on the pad, but I'm just gonna pick it up right on the edge where I want it, then start the machine. I have no sling, and now that's perfectly clean.
Okay, why does that work better? Let me try this. So, why does that work better than simply putting it on there first? I'm gonna try it. Now, speed 2?
Yeah, but first roll your polish, roll the pad in it.
Okay.
So roll the pad on the edge.
So kind of like this?
Yeah, and then roll a little further, and you put way too much polish there.
Okay. What do you expect, Ivan?
Yeah.
I'll do every corner.
Yeah, okay.
Then we'll spread it out a little bit, okay?
Yeah. Now start your polisher up while it's in there.
It didn't spray.
No, and you notice you got that area clean now.
Yeah. I totally did. I'm struggling over here a little bit. What I might do...
Well, over there you've got one problem, and we both have the same problem. The hinge is actually peeling. Yeah. So we don't want to be too aggressive with it.
Oh, the hinge is peeling.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's on that side as well.
Right, so we want to clean it, but we don't want to be too aggressive.
Okay.
Whoa,
yeah. No, if I just do that with a rag though?
Yeah, you can do it that way as well.
And just see, boy, this is a crusty paint. I mean, that's not moving, Ivan.
Yeah, that's why the wool pad on the polisher does a great job.
No, it's moving, but it's very, very slight.
Yeah. One other thing with the Jeep, see these black screws? If you polish them just a little too long, they become silver. So if you like them black, don't touch them with the polisher. If you rather them be silver, then go at them with the polisher for a few seconds. You'll see they'll be nice and silver when you're done.
Polish a Jeep, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
It'll be easy, they said, yeah.
Man, it's really nice when you have everything you need in your cart, Ivan. I just reached into this drawer, shortened that microfiber towel, ready for the rinseless wash pump, and wipe.
Yeah, exactly. Organization is a beautiful thing.
And we've talked about this before, but if this is one of your first times watching us, first of all, thank you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We like to teach, Ivan. We're all about valuable tips.
Yeah, education is our thing.
Yeah, and one of those tips is, when you do the rinseless wash, damp, and towel with wipe off the polish, you don't have to do ceramic gloss right away. We've talked about, letting Mother Nature dry it a little bit for you first, right? So it's not as much work.
Exactly. Don't be in a rush. Detailing is fun. And We still have the front grille here to do, and it's the nastiest part of the vehicle. The bugs have sat on here long enough that in some areas it's actually etched through to the primer. So we're going to improve it, but I'm not expecting a miracle right here. The iconic 7-bar grille of the Jeep. It's also pretty much flat up and down, and bugs like to end their life on it. You can see the etching that we have here. I'm going to try to polish it, no promises. It is going to improve, but we're not going to make it new again, that's for sure. Nick, one area polishing couldn't improve is this grille.
We tried.
Yeah, now the hood is metal, and these are actually painted in 2 separate factories. This isn't painted together. This comes from the factory, it's a plastic piece. This is one factory, this is another factory. And the etching on this is spectacular. It looks like we haven't even washed it. It's been washed, it's been polished, it's been decontaminated, and it looks like the bugs are still, living there.
I love your word spectacular. You're admiring how well the etching is.
It's night and day between the hood and the grille. And even the front bumper piece here doesn't have etching on it, but this grille is just etched. Now, this Jeep we're preparing for sale. We've polished the hood. We may actually end up replacing it because on Nick's side there's a big dent. It got hit by a tree limb that fell. So we'll see if we can find a white hood at the scrapyard. Luckily, Jeep made a lot of these. They made a lot of white ones, and the hood may not be damaged on another one. For this front grille, we have 2 ways of doing it. We might be able to replace it if we can find one. When we go to the scrapyard, we'll see. If not, what we can do is make it look like a 2024 Jeep with a bit of plasti dip, because their front grille now is a matte black plastic. So we can upgrade the look of this Jeep with a few cans of plasti dip. And that's something you can do. You're trying to make the Jeep look better. You're trying to make it look the way it should be. And this etching is definitely not what we want. This back window, with the lighting we have here, looks not bad until we do this. See all those water spots? And we've used water spot remover. Again, water spot remover removes the minerals that cause the water spot, but they may not remove that. We're gonna try polishing with a wool pad, see what happens, and I'll just do half of this. So let me polish it, I'll come back with the light, we'll see what happens.
Polish it now. Let's take our rinseless stamping microfiber towel, wipe off the polish residue. Bit of ceramic gloss, work it in. Let's take a look. So most of that water spotting is gone. If we come back over here, how's this for before and after? This, yucky. this? Shiny.
So one of the things you can do, a bit of polish on a rag.
And I don't know if we can see under here on how nasty this is, but it was so satisfying. I'm like, Ivan, stop the video. I want to show you. So look how dirty that is. I'm not worried about, am I messing up the paint? Because really, no one's going to see this. But if you're a professional detailer out there especially, your client is going to notice if you've been able to just do this little extra step. So I'm going to try to work a clean side here if I can. And if it feels, some of that looks like it's more permanently damaged, so I might just work it a little bit longer. But, you know, imagine it's just like a polisher. This is about what you're going to get. Just no pressure, just a few extra passes. But when you see that compared to that, just the great results you can get. So you really want to get a car really detailed. Don't forget the fender lip. A little bit of polish on a rag. Who knew? Ivan, this is one shiny Jeep. There's no doubt about it.
It's a lot better than when we started, but we still have a few more things to do. We have the interior to clean. That's going to be a good job by itself. And special edition just for Jeep owners, black trim. Black trim on a Jeep is notoriously fast at fading. We have a 2021 Jeep, it's already fading.
Really?
So, yeah. So this one's a couple years older. It's definitely faded. We have our plastic Restore and Protect, the perfect tool for this, and you'll see that in a future video.
If this is out for a while, the video is right here. If not, if you're just watching this fresh with us, and by the way, we have premieres, so we hope you're watching it on the premiere.
Yeah.
Check out this video, gives you more information about plastic Restore and Protect.
See you later.